I feel that it's very tough times for everyone, and you probably noticed that I don't have brand spanking big, new, shiny signs. I've actually reused the same signs that I had from 6 years ago that were made by a neighbor, because I believe that we need to carry through frugality in all aspects. When I took office 6 years ago, I realized that the seniors were lacking a vibrant senior center, and I worked very hard with Mayor St. Angelo. We worked with the YMCA to create a study. I toured centers statewide and advocated for a full-time director. When that first director was discharged for fear of the programs being cut or suffering, I actually stepped up and for 9 months, maybe a little untraditionally, ran the center and ensured that the programs would continue, even creating a newsletter that could go town-wide to our seniors. I had it fully established for the new director when he came on board.
What can we as candidates say to truly differentiate ourselves from each other? The truth is that while our experiences and backgrounds may be varied, our motivations and goals are very much the same. We all want to make Naugatuck an even better place to live, work, and raise a family. We all want to be the people's mayor or the people's Burgess. And we all want to offer focused leadership for a real change. We have the easiest job this evening, just to talk about ourselves. The reporter's job, as always, will be to educate and inform the public. But for everyone else in the audience, your job is the most difficult. You will have to filter through all the catchy phrases and slogans to determine who truly will best represent your interests in borough government. You may find, as you are listening to our statements, that those of us with prior experience as a Burgess cite that as an attribute. As a first-term Burgess, I know that 2 years ago when I was elected, I most certainly did look to those who had served over 20 years for their experience and wisdom, and I still do. As Burgesses, we work with the Finance Board to develop our town budget, and therefore Burgess candidates with experience as Finance Board members are well prepared for the responsibility of listening to the requests of the department heads, understanding the concerns of the taxpayer, and working with both groups to accept a fiscally responsible budget.
I certainly applaud the efforts of the joint boards in keeping the tax rate exactly where it was last year, and hopefully we can continue to hold down spending to a point where the senior citizens and all of the taxpayers in Naugatuck will have at least a little breather. I also applaud the President Borough Board. I'll tell you, I've never worked with people that I've appreciated as much as the work effort that's put in by all of the Burgesses, and I can tell you without any question that they all deserve to be reelected. They've done a great job. They're hardworking, and I applaud all of their efforts.
Over the last 10 years, I have volunteered on 3 different commissions. The Naugatuck voters have elected me zoning commissioner, and the members of the zoning commission have elected me as their chairman. And I've chaired the commission for the last 7 years. I've actually been on the commission for 10 years. Together, the zoning commission has made great strides in updating our regulations and creating a framework to encourage smart economic development. I am proud of our work and what we have accomplished. For me, my service to the town has always been about public service, not self-service. Some people like to associate me with change. Change to me is not just a change of face or a change of personnel, but to me changes in how we do things, how we say things, how we approach government. Change now more than ever is needed, and I hope that I am the change that you have been waiting for.
In 1999, I was elected to the Planning Commission. As Deputy Chairman, I helped rewrite the subdivision regulations and the Plan of Conservation and Development. I'm a strong proponent of land use regulations and the preservation of open space. This year, I was instrumental in preserving $75,000 of the open space fund from the mismanagement of the Bronco administration. Between 2003 and 2007, as a private citizen, I attended all the borough board meetings, less 2. During that time, I've tried to stay abreast of all the issues at hand. In 2005, as a private citizen, I went before the Board of Mayor and Burgesses and explained to Mayor San Angelo and Mr. Pettick, the business manager, that they were spending the $125,000 for the gas station at the railroad station illegally. Contracts are made to be read, not just exception. I pointed that out to the mayor and to Mr. Pettick, who finally agreed that I was right. Mayor San Angelo also admitted that he didn't read the contract, although he signed it. We need better administration than what we've had in the past.
I'm a sort of a silent person, only because I think a lot, and I try to do what I think is right. And 95% of the time, I come out on top, which I'm lucky for. And I thank the Lord above for that. I'm a veteran. I've served overseas. I was in on the Battle of Southern France, landed in the Bay of Cavalier, first wave. And I also came back, got into the Naval Reserve, went and served in the Korean War as a border minesweeper at that time. And I come out of there unscathed, thank God for that. And I've attended school inside, Caner Tech, and I've got 57 years experience down at Uniroyal Chemical. That's exactly how long I have worked. It's 56 years and 11 months to the day, to be honest with you. But I've always enjoyed my work. I took it very seriously, the same as I take politics and take government in Naugatuck. Take it very seriously.
I have only one agenda, and that is to make Naugatuck a better community. As you will hear, volunteerism and public service have been and are extremely important to me. Family. I was born to Jack and Arminda Vieira here in Naugatuck almost 56 years ago. I'm married to Tony Fregoso, my best friend, for 37 years. I have two daughters, Danielle and Stephanie. Public service. I was elected Burgess in 1991 through 1997, and then again 2003 to the present, making that 12 years. I have served as liaison to various boards, including but not limited to the Arts, the Board of Ed, the Police Commission and Fire Commission, the VNA Board, the Naugatuck Youth Services Board, the Board of Parks and Rec, and Open Space. I am a member of the Naugatuck Women's Club, and from 1990 to the present, I have been a volunteer with the American Cancer Society, having implemented the Look Good, Feel Better program, which I brought to both area hospitals that is still functioning at the Lieber Center.
When I was thinking about running for Burgess, when the opportunity came, I talked to Mr. Burns, a friend of mine, and I said, you know, Bob, I says, I don't have any experience in politics. I said, you don't need experience, you need common sense. I think I can give you that. I served as a detective, started off as a patrolman, served as a detective. Then I was assigned under Jack Sullivan. I'm sure some of you remember him. He was a fine man, a fine fire marshal. I was the first police officer assigned to the fire marshal's office under Jack Sullivan. I served there for 5 years. He sent me to school. I was the first police officer to be certified as a state fire investigator, arson investigator. When Mr. Sullivan passed away, Mr. Tom Ashmore, and other people who you know, was a very fine gentleman. He was acting fire marshal. I was acting assistant fire marshal.
Since I was 19 years old, I've served Naugatuck in some capacity. When I turned 19, I became an EMT and worked 3 years for the Naugatuck ambulance. I then got a job as a Naugatuck firefighter, retiring after 25 years as a captain. And I've been a 3-term Burgess here in Naugatuck. And as I look around here tonight, as a firefighter, I see a number of other emergency service workers. I see Sergeant Steve Hunt, Sergeant Ray Savoy, retired Detective Hank Kaczynski, and I see Assistant Chief Paul Russell, and retired Captain Tom Courier, and firefighter Jim Ritchie. And all of these people, we all have the same thing in common. Whenever any of you or any citizen or person passing through Naugatuck needed help, all they had to do was pick up the phone and call, and we were there, no questions asked. And as a Burgess, I've always done the same thing.